there, grammar splainies. Welcome to video 3. Yes, 3 of who and whom. We're taking who and whom in bite-sized chunks. In the first video, we did who did whom. In the second video, we got someone did something to, at, for, by, from, with, whatever, whom. All right, going back to the first video, we know something about subjects, but there's something more to learn. Let's get this sentence back from video 1. Firpo hit Dempsey. We're going to flip the subject and object around in this sentence, and we're going to get a construction called the passive voice. Dempsey was hit by Firpo. Maybe you can see why we call that passive. It's because the focus is really on the object of the action rather than the agent, the doer of the action. This is a sentence about the hitee. Now, to make things even simpler, let's just shave off that doer altogether. Dempsey was hit. Now get ready for something kind of counterintuitive. Dempsey is still the object of an action out in the real world. However, he is the subject of this sentence. Okay, your mind is probably boggling a little bit, but that's a rule. The doee in the passive voice is the subject of the sentence. Let's bring back our other two examples. Rick and Victor loved the same girl. Flip their positions around. The same girl was loved by Rick and Victor. Now let's just get rid of Rick and Victor altogether. We don't need them in this sentence. The same girl was loved. That sounds a little awkward, so let's give her a name finally. Ilsa was loved. Now out in the real world, or in the movie world, Ilsa is still the object of someone's love. However, she is the subject of this sentence. That's the passive voice. Let's look at our last example. Mona Lisa fascinates everyone. Let's flip it around, bring our object to the front of the sentence where we're focused on it. Everyone is fascinated by Mona Lisa. Chop off Mona Lisa. Here's our sentence. Everyone is fascinated. There's a fascinator out there somewhere for the purposes of our sentence. It doesn't matter who or what it is. We have the subject of our sentence. Everyone. Okay, let's just look at those three sentences again. Look at the pattern. Dempsey was hit. Ilsa was loved. Everyone is fascinated. You can see how the doees have been brought into focus, while the doers, they're irrelevant. They're even out of the sentence. And hence, these doees are now the subject. Okay, so now let's put question marks on those doees. Remember, they're subjects. Dempsey was hit. Who was hit? Ilsa was loved. Who was loved? Everyone is fascinated. Who is fascinated? Oh, popping in from another video here, I explained all about the passive voice in this one, but I want to keep this short and sweet for now and show you that in the passive voice, that doee is the subject of the sentence, and when you put a question mark on them, they get a who. So how did this get Matt Taibbi in trouble? Well, let's look at what he did. We now know from his own testimony that former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper had some kind of role in helping CNN do its report, presumably by confirming part of the story, perhaps through an intermediary or two. There is some controversy over whom exactly was contacted and when. Okay, first let's just chop off the part of the sentence that we don't need and go down here to the bottom. This is actually a whole sentence by itself. There is some controversy over whom exactly was contacted and when. Okay, we're talking who and whom, right? Look at the whom. If you want, scratch out that word exactly because we don't need it. And what have you got? Whom was contacted. Now you grammar splainies know better, don't you? That's the passive voice. Subject was contacted. So let's correct that sentence. There is some controversy over who exactly was contacted and when. This sentence is in Matt Taibbi's book, Hate, Inc., so presumably it made it past a couple of proofreaders and copy editors, and that shows you who and whom can be complicated. Smart people miss it. And by the way, there's another kind of object out there, and it has tripped up writers at the Wall Street Journal and the New Yorker. But that's another topic for another Ansel Adams background. So that's our lesson on figuring out who and whom in a passive sentence. If you have any questions, and you're likely to, put them down below and we'll talk about them. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe.